We're live now.
Cool.
They can start. And I will need to mute the second computer. There it is.
Okay, so we see two liars, a storehouse, and an artist.
Oh, that's a
which
pretty good start.
This is not just incredible; it's like disgusting.
Yeah, and one of the liars is on the run though, so it's even gonna get the free fate.
So how do you deal with this? Because your scoring needs to go below 6 to get maximum value out of the artist. So, like that if you buy anything cheap, it's gonna get
Yeah,
assassinated.
you just play something you can't assassinate.
Yeah.
I didn't saw all cards from Merlintho deck, but it's on like most of the classical things you can find in a dragon deck. So you have like Hurricane Punch, Void Fist.
Oh yeah, just to mention here, I've got no idea what the High House of Light does because whenever I play against it, I usually
it does nothing for you.
Yeah. Well, there has been a couple of occasions that I wasn't able to deal with a Mitsu with 16 attachments and I just lost to it, but I still haven't taken the time to sit down and actually think about it and theorycraft about it.
Well, technically, it does annoy the Scorpions a lot because you're just gonna trigger it when an event is fired the first time. So, like, if you play Way of the Scorpion, then the player is gonna trigger it, so you actually can't capitalize on that Way of the Scorpion, and you're gonna trigger it.
Oh, wait a second. I'm sorry for interrupting you, but the Doomsu Yenza was bought. Was this a mistake?
I think it could be because it might get assassinated, and then the player Scorpion will go down to 7 honor, not defending, so 6. Oh, yeah, sorry, yeah, 7 because it dies, but. Yeah, now he's much closer to getting the activation. I'm a bit surprised that the Scorpion player didn't actually play more things than he did. He just wanted to get the passing fate.
There we go. See? God damn it.
Yeah.
Scorpion and the tricks.
Yeah, that assassination is actually pretty brutal.
So, people will ask me why I don't like drop playing Lion and just play Scorpion and start winning. This is the reason why, because like I find this setup disgusting.
Yeah, I really like the idea of the Red Lion, honestly. Like it's I'm biased because it's my two favorite colors.
My point here is that the liar, the alibi artist, liar. It's like 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, that's gonna be an insane start for the Scorpion.
Yeah, this is 3 extra cards.
Yeah.
Plus an artist, which is a scry 2 draw 1.
Yeah, he hits Shameful though, so that philosopher getting protected with the High House is gonna get honored and is on the liar, but that's not gonna bring him very far for now.
I don't think Shameful is that important right here.
Right now, not, but if he can defend it, it might make a difference.
Yeah.
That philosopher staying alive is going to generate only 3 honor actually, because there is no fate at the first turn. Oh yeah, the Indomitable will. Yeah, I saw that one actually in the previous match. Honestly, I think you would just defend here. I mean, not declare a conflict.
But here's the problem, right? Like, I see it from a different perspective, but declaring a conflict here, void! So you want your opponent to go down to 6, activating the artist, let them draw a card, down to 5. Yeah, I couldn't go for void,
you're gonna go
even
down,
if I was getting paid.
Well, I mean, void or not, you're gonna go down to 6 because of the undefended anyway.
Yeah, exactly. So don't attack.
Yeah, either don't attack and take the favor, or if you do attack, just take air and take 2.
Don't attack and take favor because you will not.
Yeah, that's what I would do. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, you will not dishonor City of the Open Hand Scorpion unless you play your own 3 backhanded compliments or maybe 4.
Well, the way you could do it is just like smash a bunch of Dishonor token on his board, but like that's not gonna happen anytime soon. You would need Alchemists for that, and maybe like Isaido Disciple, which you usually don't play. Probably be way too complicated. And you end up Dishonored. So yeah, definitely doesn't sound good. Not attacking here was the correct play. I mean, you still get favor, but now that your philosopher is potatoed, then and I know Scorpion for sure is going to buy that liar and that artist and another artist. That's gross. That's just gross.
In the Shadow Shaper for the.
I'm not even sure I would buy the Shadow Shaper honestly here, unless you play Cloud Domain maybe. But even then, like
you might for just for the bounce, but the bounce doesn't really make any significant difference now. So you don't. Yeah.
Yeah, I think the bounce doesn't matter here.
Yeah, get a liar for 0. Then play Season of War. Did you play Season of War here? Yeah. Yeah, because you want to get rid of the disguise.
Yeah, exactly. Right? Yeah, just to get rid of the disguise. Well, actually, the disguise doesn't even make a big difference because it's going to come into play these units. And I think as the dragon player, you want to keep the philosopher effect on board. Like exactly. You don't want to get rid. The actually, I think you don't play.
You wouldn't even play it. So you wouldn't even disguise it, right? You keep the philosopher for the honor.
Well, no, it's a bad idea to have played it because now you're gonna have to deal with that second philosopher actually.
But you don't know that you're gonna see the second philosopher. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, it's true, but I mean, if you don't have a reason to play your season, then you just don't play it, right?
I mean, there is the argument that I don't want you to present another threat with Itzy or another defender with Itzy or something. But
true. But I mean, as a Scorpion player,
the good dragon player couldn't discard the philosopher for the Itzy, so
yeah, exactly.
Don't expect them to do it.
Yeah, exactly. As a Scorpion player, I would be happy if the dragon player does it. So, yeah. And he gets the illusionist after that. So yeah, that sounds like a very, very rough game for the dragon player here. That would wonder. I'm not sure why. It's the Ancient Master. Okay, that's interesting. I don't think you would ever attach it to your philosophy.
Trying to start bidding lower in the next turns, maybe to see more cards.
Yeah, I mean, he wants to use it for draw, but
yeah, Calling in Favors is a completely fair and balanced card, and he has not helped me at all ever to get any of my Hatamotos. I would like to point out here.
Was that sarcasm?
As well as Edict.
Yeah, and sounds like sarcasm.
Completely fair and balanced card.
I think the problem is that we lack attachment management in general, and that one is too efficient.
Yeah. Let go in that restoration. So this is the thing, right? This is the thing that I'm so fascinated from the Scorpion playstyle. I attack with 1, and you have to decide what you want to do. Like, you need to make a choice. Do you defend and lose resources? Do you let it unopposed and they get an air?
I think you don't have the right to make it unopposed here.
Exactly.
Well, it's the restoration of balance, actually, but Scorpion assassinating the Tomb Shuginja. Okay.
That's another target.
It's interesting. Well, you could assassinate him. Well, yeah, it's costly. It's costly. You did pay 2 fate on it. It's actually interesting that he took the risk to break the restoration of balance here with 10 cards.
No, because the moment you do that, he hasn't used the artist yet, has he?
Yeah, it's true. It still has the artist trigger.
So he has 2 artists and 2 liars. He's going to draw another 4. Does he care about cards?
Yeah, maybe not that much, you're right. Yeah, you're right about it. And he's gonna keep spending some. So.
I look at the board from the Scorpion perspective because I'm tainted, but yeah, it's a little bit like the Scorpion player here doesn't really care about what happens.
I don't understand about that calling in favor though.
I will lose a card so that you don't have the opportunity to potentially draw cards so that you have to bid high, maybe. I don't know.
No, I mean he called in favor the Karanaun himself. What does that give him? He spent a fate and a card for basically dishonoring
Yeah, but
some character.
he spent a card to remove a katana from his opponent's.
No, it was on his own Soshi Shadow Shaper.
Whoa, sorry. I lost track of that for a second.
That's why it was weird. Like the dragon player
Yes.
played it on the Shadow Shaper to force him.
Oh, right. No. But this makes sense. This makes completely sense because the dragon player played it on the Shadow Saber to make it 3 so that the restoration would break, and then he calling in favors on himself. So he go down to 2 because of the Dishonor token. This is a standard play.
Yeah, I can't count properly. I was still counting 3.
No, don't worry about it.
Yeah. There is the -1 glory. Sure.
Yeah.
No dragon is defending it. That's interesting. Yeah, that was weird. So actually paying the Shadow Shaper was relevant. Yeah. I mean, you don't play the Ancient Master here for defense because you know there is the Shadow Shaper anyway, so it's going to trigger. This is going the very wrong way for the dragon player here. That's undefended and an air ring. Interesting. Scorpion decides to gain 2.
You have a almost fully dishonored board, and you're at 4. Actually, you're at 2 because of the 2 layers leaving. There is an argument to go to 4, maybe.
Yeah, it's true, but
to go to 6, so that you like at the end of the turn you could be at 4. I mean, you get what I'm talking about.
That's okay.
I am counting at the end of the turn. Tranquil Philosopher is a kind of a problem from the Dishonor perspective.
Yeah, it's going to be a problem, but maybe not for very long. I mean, it's going to save him 3 on a per turn. 3 no, total, sorry,
3?
So 1 per turn.
No, every single copy is going to save him that.
Yeah, that's the problem. Like if he plays a second one, that's what I was saying when he plays the Seasons of War.
Yeah, but this is the problem then, because Scorpion I think has a problem after because these games are not timed. If the dragon player is able to stabilize post the 40th, 50th minute, and after turn 6-7, and he's able to stabilize at a healthy 7+ honor, I don't think the Scorpion player is going to be able to deal with a huge board. After you've already burnt all of your gas as a Scorpion player, his conflict deck is 24 cards already, right?
Yeah, and you're gonna have that investigator doing some work also.
If the investigator sees a duty, then the game changes completely, irrespective of how great his early start, the Scorpion player's early start was.
Depends if he can fire the scavenger, like if he has one. If that one goes through, that might change everything again in the other way.
Yeah.
I mean, it will have to commit another card to do anything from that conflict. Would you have another? Okay, so that's the Banzai. We probably gonna see the Shameful breaking here, unless Scorpion has something to play with 2 fights, maybe a Goblin. It's interesting how the Dragon player chose to go to new provinces, although he had Toshiranbo open. Is the idea to keep it open to break last when you're going to be slightly more at risk than you are right now?
Not quite sure, because if it was me on this side, well, not with this deck obviously, but I would just attack Toshiranbo forever and make him waste resources on my. I have White Goblin and I'm sending it to you.
Yeah, exactly.
Thanks. But I don't know what the dragon's long-term plan is. Is it conquest? Do you plan
I think he just aims to break the stronghold there.
But if that's the case, then why not start from Toshiranbo to make sure that your opponent doesn't get the free fate every time?
I mean, I can see an argument for finding like a second province at a moment you're not at risk, so that you can go back to it after you break Toshiranbo. But
Okay, effective deception is is a province that you go and attack after you have a board
yeah,
an on-board number of larger than 15.
yeah,
Okay,
definitely.
and you tell your opponent that you can waste all of your cards and all of your resources, and I'm still going to break. So just let
Yeah,
me.
exactly. Yeah.
Your opponent yields. Toshirambo is a farm. Shameful display is the opposite of the farm unless you have an Omoidasu, especially if your
Yeah,
Omoidasu
I
has
think
5/8.
I think you know what I think I know what you're talking about. Like that brings back some memories.
I mean, Omoidasu is cute, right? I think
It's a really good card.
this was my mistake when I played against you. Didn't put 5/8 on him. I think I only put 3.
You did put 4, but I
4?
think I think you got a bit slightly not aggressive enough early
Yeah.
because you were not at risk of anything actually in the, but you knew that for sure. So that's also like you were
Yeah,
cautious and you were right about it.
I'm far too much of a safe player. I don't take risks.
I think it lost you on that game actually.
Yeah. 100% it did.
I think
This is a
had
new
you
thing. Fuchimura. After an attack is declared
one
against
fate
you,
on each ring.
Interesting.
Well, that could keep the philosopher working for quite some time. If you can defend it, which is not going to happen. I don't think that province is anywhere near good.
I mean, okay. Let's assume that this was shameful. Well, it is shameful. Okay, there is shameful on the row. Let's assume that this was pilgrimage.
Yeah.
7 would play 4. So the Scorpion player has to spend a lot of resources to still maybe not get the Earth Ring resolved.
Yeah, the thing is, you don't even have anything to defend that because the investigator got covered. So.
But I mean, I'm theory crafting on the province, not on the board state.
Yeah, it would still be a better province, I think. I'm definitely sure of it.
I'm not quite sure what difference it makes to have more fate on the rings.
Well, you're gonna get more fate back from them, but your opponent also might get more from them. So.
I mean, that would make sense in a reality in which High House of Light was consistently able to proc.
Yeah.
And especially against Scorpion, you can't really do that because you can't really draw the cards because you're gonna get punished.
And you can't afford to throw 5 cards away. Like
unless you have a Mitsu, like if the Dragon player here had a Mitsu of 3 Fate, then okay, I would see an argument. But this happens after turn 4 or maybe 5.
And Karmic Balance got discarded here. Like, I mean, it could have been an interesting one. So the underlying idea is you throw your cards, you trigger the House of Light, and then you equalize hands. But it sounds a bit convoluted to really be stable as a game plan. And then what does that trigger of House of Light brings you? Like a fate on a character, so you also will have to tower that character somehow to make it valuable. For shame to compensate the
is there a reason why the Dragon player here should just accept that he's going to lose a couple of provinces, not defend anything, keep favor, and then I don't know, buy a Mitsu with a number of fate where number is larger than 5 or something? Like no, larger than 3, 4. And try to stabilize from the point of okay, now you have half of your deck drawn and mostly played. I have a huge board that I can defend from now on forever. I have a relatively healthy honor total, and I can cycle my cards when you can't.
Yeah, I think that would be a good strategy, especially because House of Light allows you to have that Mitsu protected when you defend with it.
Exactly.
Yeah, I think that would be a sound strategy. You're losing the advantage of the covert keyword of the Mitsu, well, except it allows you not to be converted by I mean, the layer is leaving play anyway. So yeah, I think that would be a good strategy.
More often than not, people react strangely to me accepting that they will lose to provinces and then start playing the game. And I realize that quite often it is the correct way of thinking about the game.
I think. Do you see who is Nyochko? I think you played against him in Milton Keynes. He does actually play dragon that way. Like he plays a more traditional dragon monk tech, but he most of the time accepts that he's going to lose 2 to 3 provinces, and then he's going to have a
start controlling.
Yeah, he's going to have a very strong board, and the sacred sanctuary is going to be up, and he's just going to distribute the benches back.
Oh, I think I remember that. I just never. I knew it was sanctuary, so I never attacked his province. His stronghold province. I just continue farming the row.
Yeah. That
but I mean, I get it. Yeah, not every deck can be like that.
No, it's true. But I mean, he's really in this mindset where he accepts to lose.
Yeah, exactly.
Whisper. That's a gross one. A double Mitsulet would be good there.
Yeah.
And double Philosophers. So, I mean, if you can stabilize
from the Scorpion perspective, what do you do? Why would you buy the Illusionist over the Whisperer?
Just to ensure that Mitsu is not going to be
honored?
Impossible. Yeah. Just so that you can't bypass it with some strength in the conflict. Because he's going to be impossible to affect with your events because of the high house light. So you would need the fire ring to be ever able to do anything to him if you don't pay the illusionist. And he probably still has some valuable cards in hand that he doesn't want to discard with the Whisper. The slight downside, and the very small one, is that you have to throw away exactly 3 cards if you have them.
As a Dragon player, would you have played Season to make sure that Bayushi Shouju is out of the field, as well as the Whisperer, as well as the Season of War? I think especially the Season of War, getting rid of the 2 philosophers, the 2 remaining philosophers of the deck, is a little bit of a threat here.
Yeah, that's the point. Like, I would have played it, except I don't
if it wasn't the philosophers.
Yeah, because I don't have the philosophers. But the problem is, no matter what, my opponent is first player next turn.
Exactly.
And if he's smart, he's going to keep his and discard my philosophers with the Season of War.
So you choose to play a game of chicken.
The thing is, he's going to be trading the Shouju against the philosophers, because if he does play the Shouju before the Season of War, then I will be able to play a philosopher. I will lose one probably, but I will be able to have a second one. So it's like I'm somehow trading my philosophers against the Shouju. It's like a good example of the Mexican standoff, basically. Like, no one wants to do anything because the first one that does is probably losing in the process, right? Or it goes back to even.
So we see a century being discarded. I wonder. Assassination, backhanded. Century display.
Double backhanded.
So the Scorpion player has a range of 3 right now, 4 because of the Investigator. So the Dragon player is at 3, 4 because of the Philosopher, if I count this properly in the long run as the board.
And also the fire rings won't matter anyway. So, what did he do with that one? I was one in defense. Yeah, and you can't touch air because of that display of power. I think discarding the display was a better play. And now he's going to come back at the restoration, and you have to defend that. You don't really have a choice.
So you see double void and fire. Earth should be something like upholding authority if it is included, and then you have the air, I think, which is the monk one. So you don't attack
The
according
air
to
one below the stronghold, very likely.
So you have to go for the rest of. At this moment in time, do you care about the assassination being in your hand? That you, as the Scorpion player, you're not very likely to use it, especially if you play Shoju.
No, I think you don't care about that one anymore. I think it's the display of power you had to throw away there, not the censure. The Earth becomes now is going to be annoying next turn, but yeah, it's going to bow your Mitsu for sure.
I have a question. It's my pure lack of knowledge of the Dragon, but is it ever the correct play for the particular matchup now, right? To put restoration on your box?
No, I don't think so.
Because, or okay, for this province row, the Fujimura, because you don't want to give your opponent stuff to be able to farm. Like, your opponent wouldn't be able to farm the air province, the monk straight one, right? Because you can always get a monk or create a monk with a seal to ready up and give them present some sort of threat.
Yeah, I think it might make some sense if you are with the Fujimura, yes.
So your row being upholding authority, resto and shameful, and putting the Fujimura in the box creates a row that doesn't allow the Scorpion player to abuse his potential of I present you with skill 1 and you have to do something about it.
Yeah, that would be better, I think. You're right.
Which is the reason why I put Rebels under my box against Scorpion, so that they can't attack my DA.
Yeah.
Because I will dishonor them out. Like I'm giving them hard choices.
Yeah, I think you're right.
The Scorpion matchup in general is a completely different kind of game, because the Scorpion are just so they play solitaire games. So if you let them.
Yeah.
So you have to adapt the way you play to the fact that you're playing against Scorpion.
Oh. Yeah, definitely. I don't think I would attack here with Mitsu, honestly. Scorpion is going to get the first shot. I mean, don't go air. They have the display of power.
And you can't present any cancels.
No, you don't have any cancel available. There will be no defender.
Of course.
Game crashed.
So, did it?
Yeah, it did. It's not the first time it's happening this evening.
So are the players going to restart?
I'm going to ask them.
Sure.
With a bit of luck, they will be able to reconnect. But yeah, it seems it's crashed. I'm just gonna start to refresh, see what's happening. Where is it? There it is. Okay, we're back in. Okay, seems it's working. So I think you don't have the right to attack here. Like, he's gonna display that.
And indeed he defends.
Why? Am I missing something here? You just don't defend display of power.
I'm at a loss.
Yeah, I don't understand that move either.
I have to trust that the players know what they're doing, and I'm not gonna call this a wrong move.
One reason is, as a Scorpion player, you know your opponent saw the display, and right now you know that he's at 7 before stealing you 1. So you're like, well, I'm not gonna kill him just with the display, so I prefer to keep it for next turn, so that next turn it doesn't have the right to touch the wrong ring. Like next turn I can take fire, and I can still forbid him to touch air ring. The problem for Scorpion now is gonna hit the box.
I honestly don't understand why the Scorpion is trying to break provinces, or
Well-
he's presenting enough skill to be allowed to break provinces.
Yeah, it's a bit weird. Maybe he just thinks that he doesn't have the ability to dishonor the dragon player anymore because of the philosopher still on board and the one that might be coming. But
the other one can't come.
no, he can't anymore because
simply can't because of season.
well,
And the dragon player cannot break shameful ever. So
no, know that the
this
dragon.
Mhm.
I mean, know that the dragon player has discarded the shoju. There is no question anymore about choosing the seasons or not, right? Like you just use the seasons.
Yeah, exactly. So exactly for that reason, you just don't really care. So right now, what are you going to do? Try to farm upholding if that is upholding, and
yeah, that's
and
not a
the
situation
box?
you want to be in.
So right now, the dragon player can just stall this game out for the next 30 minutes and then just kill the Scorpion opponent by dishonor.
Crash the game. No, we reconnected.
I
will just have to refresh again because otherwise we're gonna stay.
It says you're disconnected, but I see the game running.
Okay, so it's from my side. That's interesting. It's the refresh.
Okay, so while you're trying to refresh, 2 EBSs have been played for both Mitsu and the Philosopher, but so the Scorpion player obviously is going to try for the conquest break, but how does that make any sense since Mitsu is going to be readied? I mean, it's 5 cards to 7, so at least the dragon player, I think, already is presenting at least a Void Fist in hand, and another in the discard pile. So
very honestly, if I were a Scorpion player, I would have kept the second Earth Becomes Skies for the Sacred Sanctuary trigger.
Wait. Excuse me, did the Scorpion player discard the Season of... I don't understand what's going on. And the Dragon player discarded the Philosopher. I continue to not understand what's going on.
Well, I think the Scorpion player just said, "I don't care. I'm gonna break the box. So let's keep that fate." And the Dragon player realized that and said, "I'm not gonna need it. I need stats." But I mean, that's a huge risk from the Dragon player there. Like, I think Scorpion decision is acceptable, but as the Dragon player, you're like, okay, I'm still at 4 honor. I'm gonna lose 1 from the Philosopher.
But the Scorpion stats are a little bit all over the place. You have a little bit of military that you can present with the Goblin Sneak, and with the Shadow Shaper with the Katana. You have slightly more political that you can actually present about 6, 7, or maybe 8, 9 on the board. I'm not quite sure what's the correct line of play here.
I think he might still have a
But
third
as a Dragon player here, you just turtle up.
Well, the problem is, like, if Scorpion has the third Earth Becomes Skies there, you die as the Dragon player, right?
Because you can't ready.
Yeah. And the fact he played 2 just tells me he had a third one. Because otherwise you don't pull the Philosopher back, right? And you just keep it for the Mitsu.
Ready for battle, in service to my lord, force the edict, censure. so many beautiful answers, kind of line of.
Yeah, and it doesn't have the third one. That's interesting.
I might have to start retracting my comments about yellow card. Let's see how this pans out.
I don't understand why the Scorpion player did play the second Earth Becomes Sky on the Philosopher. Like
who cares about the 0/0 exactly?
Yeah, you just leave it be, and you just forbid Mitsu to stand.
Let's see if he has the third one.
No, he doesn't.
Or was it played?
Yeah, he didn't. Mitsu got stunned.
What? Am I further back? Oh, how can it be that I am like a couple of seconds behind on what's going on?
Um,
Anyway,
because of when I got the lag, I refreshed, and you probably
okay.
got the lag and got a bit delayed.
Yeah, okay, that's fine, that's fine. Wow, so Mitsu stands. I honestly don't understand why.
Yeah,
Why they stand.
you 100% keep the Earth Pick-up Skies for the
Christ
stand.
sakes. So as a Scorpion player, you play 4 to your opponent's 6, okay, but it's not really 4 because you have 2 alibi artists. Yeah, that's fine. And on top of that, you also have the Whisperer. Okay. What's going on with this connection?
Maybe you can just refresh the matchup and it's gonna reload it at the right place. I think it's just the server being unstable. It doesn't come from us.
Speak with Tomoya about. Let's see what's going on.
My guess
Okay.
is increased confinement in various countries leads more
Yeah,
people to play on Jigoku.
more people being online.
Yeah.
Cloud the Mind. How many Let Goes have been played?
None,
None.
I think.
That's fine. So the Dragon
Yeah,
player presents
none.
the one Let Go, and how many censures / edicts does the Scorpion present? 2 edicts and 2. Oh, no, 1 edict, 2 censures, right?
Yeah, exactly. It might have only 2 centuries in the deck. Some players only have 2.
Okay.
But you
We
can't
can see
assume
what
it.
it is.
So yeah, Way of the Scorpion on the Initiate because obviously the Mitsu has been protected with the Stronghold. That's interesting. If you don't have the Council here as a Scorpion player,
I think you just lose the game.
you're never gonna dishonor, but I mean you can still break probably.
Can you? Your whole board leaves, and you only end up having the Whisperer and the Illusionist. And
I
your
mean,
opponent has an
right now
established
he's
board.
breaking, so Dragon would need a card to save his Stronghold. Code games would do probably.
I mean, there is a huge number of cards that would help the Dragon player.
Yeah,
Starting with
there
Let
is the
Go.
code games. Yeah.
Starting with Let Go on the cloud to allow to play the Void Fist.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, that would work.
Because the Abishu is 1, Let Go is 2, and then Void
Yeah,
Fist
it would work. Yeah.
is online.
Yeah, I think you're correct. Like Dragon stands that defense, and Scorpion probably loses it from there.
Which is what I was kind of expecting, settling up and slamming. Let's see how this goes. Yeah, honoring the next one is fine. Sure. There are 9 cards in hand. I can't believe there is literally no let go draw.
Yeah, I think it would have been a better move to honor the Initiate so that the Illusionist cannot remove the token actually. But it was a bit greedy to honor the Mitsu.
But it's the difference between getting 1 stat, getting 3, and getting your opponent to lose a fate. I mean, if you have a let go,
Yeah, it's true.
okay, as a Dragon player here, if you have the let go in hand, you just bait the remaining edict and censure. That's what you do. So you continue playing cards until your opponent says, "Okay, you have to edict that," and then you play the let go and you win the game. I find it quite confusing the fact that the Dragon player hasn't played any Hurricane Punch.
I think he did play one early.
I see
No,
none
he
in the
didn't.
discard
Okay.
pile, and Mitsu hasn't used his ability.
No, you're right. Yeah. He didn't play any. He maybe just never drew them actually.
Wait, why would you attack with Mitsu?
You shouldn't.
You just attack with the Honor Initiate, I don't know, fire on effective deception and tell your opponent to waste resources, right?
No, you don't. I would go Void honestly.
For the Whisperer.
Yeah, because if you go Fire, it's gonna get displayed. The Void will also be, but I mean it has a reason. You get a fate out of it, and you don't lose as much as getting your Mitsu dishonored.
Mm-hmm.
I think I noticed the same.
I would never go for Earth here. I would most definitely not go for Earth.
Like you're gonna get an additional keeper and a fate from the defense.
Yeah, it's display of power, and I take everything. Literally, a fate, a non, or a keeper.
No, he's defending, so no display, which is
Why?
interesting.
I don't understand why he would. Why does he care?
I mean, you would just not defend and attack with. It's the military conflict left, so you might have issues breaking anyway. I mean, you can go with the Shadow Shaper, the Snake. You have an additional.
You mean as the Scorpion, you would have problem breaking in military?
Yeah, maybe.
When you have. You're presenting 4, 5, 6. You're presenting 6 on the board to about Mitsu.
Yeah, the Mitsu is bowed and the initiate is dishonored, so there is just an initiate to stay.
Exactly. So your board says 6 to your dragon opponent's 1.
Yeah.
So how exactly do you have problems presenting a threat on the military conflict? How many Banzais has the Scorpion played?
How many?
Banzais. None.
He didn't play any, but he might have 2.
Exactly. So as the Scorpion player, you're presenting all of your military power and breaking skill on the board compared to your opponent's 1 plus 5, right? So I see literally no reason why you wouldn't this effective deception to just break.
Yeah, you just leave it break and you go back military.
Exactly. So.
Also, the choice of Merlintho to attack back is something I noticed he was doing when I played against him. Is that you're getting an advantage of minimizing the number of conflicts you put important targets in because of your stronghold. So, like when you defend with your most important character.
This is very interesting, though. There was an error foundation stance play, which might be the reason why he attacked with Mitsu, and with the Hurricane Punch play to see more cards and activate the Iron Foundation stance not bowing effect, which is quite interesting, I'd say, because this way you're forcing your opponent. Well, it is a baiting game, right? He attacked saying, okay, I'm going to break the province for free. Would you like to allow me to? And I think still that the correct answer for the Scorpion player would be yes, because even if you do your own thing, you break the province, a display of power, and then get rid of one of your cards. So okay, you still have a standing Mitsu having.
But the Iron Foundation doesn't keep you standing. It only forbids opponent cards to bow you during the conflict, but you bow at the end of the conflict.
Oh, you draw a card. I thought the condition was played another Kiho, then you don't bow.
No, the Kyo draws you. No, I think you're messing. Yeah, with the Kakita final stance.
Yeah, that's it.
Where if you did the duel.
Yeah. I'm just thinking that pretty much every clan has a I will not bow at the conflict resolution kind of card, just because I have PTSD from the Phoenix being able to do this kind of shenanigans. And now the Crane.
So well, I'm just checking what the players are saying because.
So I still don't understand why you
effective deception. Okay, he wanted to play for shame, I think, there. But he doesn't have the right to bow him.
Yeah, I think that was missed. I think the effective deception should have been active for the.
It's been used for the Banzai.
Oh. Oof. Why use it for the Banzai? Especially if you have it for shame in hand, which is like literally an infinite number of stats.
I think
a Dishonored character.
Yeah, I think he never expected to see the Iron Foundation stance because they are close deck list and it's not something we see played a huge lot.
Yeah, misreading the situation here was a little.
He still tries to defend.
Yeah, reading card is pretty important.
Yeah, I mean, if you get that Earthling, it's pretty good. So he gets a Fate and an additional Keeper. If he has a Banzai, that's enough to win.
So the Scorpion player now presents 1, 2, 3, 3.
3-1, yeah.
So 7-1 with a Banzai. And he still hasn't played any for cards in hand.
But he might have none. That's also a possibility. Like some Scorpion
Oof.
run none.
Really? Oh yeah,
Yeah.
you have to find the slot for the Cloud.
Yeah, he has the Cloud.
Yeah, exactly. But you need to find. It's a little bit awkward when you're building Scorpion to both be able to find space for the Cloud and the Banzai and play.
The Clouds
or
and the free Earth become skies.
yeah, and
when
then
you have
on top of that, yeah.
Well, yeah, when you
Then
have all or nothing, you have only two cards. There it's free, so it's an additional slot that is taken.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it doesn't run any. Like he might not have space for that, which probably is not good.
I mean the that is the difference between my older deck that Tom played in the Dublin Cote and my newer deck. I just removed the seals and played two Banzais to have a stronger chance of going Conquest.
Which one did you remove for the Banzai? Oh yeah, there it is. It has some. Yeah.
The Seal of the Lion.
Oh yeah.
See?
Okay, yeah.
The Banzai comes in, tells your opponent, I'm breaking now, you need to find cards that you've already wasted. A Banzai, a Hurricane Punch, and a Void Fist on your military attack that you shouldn't have. I think this is my read of the situation.
Yeah, definitely agree.
I will not be as arrogant as to say that this was a mistake or a wrong play because I do not know the decks well enough, especially the Dragon. But I think that it would have been a lot safer for the Dragon player to have just turned up, defended, wait for the whole board of the Scorpion player to just go away.
At the end of the turn, yeah.
Exactly. With only 9 cards in the conflict deck, the Scorpion player needs to start stressing out quite a bit. And the Dragon player has just given him the opportunity to be aggressive. Yeah.
Well, duty wasn't fired though, so like you can probably afford to not care too much about having only 9 cards left. Yeah, it breaks. Yes. Yeah. I think attacking with that Mitsu was a big mistake.
Yeah. Well, congrats to both players for their effort and for their showing. I believe that they both played to their.
I think there might be more plays that make sense that we actually understand because they are also playing like slightly, well, for the Dragon at least, not totally meta deck. So because you don't see the hand, you also sometimes.
I don't really like the phrase meta deck.
Yeah, okay, apologies.
Yeah, you understand my argument.
Yeah, completely. Sorry about that. I mean, it's not. Let's say it's not the usual Dragon deck you expect to see in front of you. So
that's fine. Okay,
but you have a lesser knowledge of what could happen.
Exactly, but sometimes it's better to I don't know, move yourself a little bit out of the treaded path and try new things.
Yeah, exactly. But I meant that's what can sometimes justify some moves because you don't know the deck too well. So you're like, well, there could be that card, so I'm going to be careful about that. But out of isolation of what you're thinking about, your play doesn't really make sense to the wider audience that doesn't thought about that card.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, it was definitely an interesting one.
It was an interesting one, and I am quite interested to see how many Banzais the Scorpion player runs and how many Censures he runs, and what he has got to generate space for both the Clouds and the Banzai. I'll have a look at his.
I will ask him at the end of the tournament because I don't think we have access to the deck lists before the end of it.
That's fine. When you do, can you please send it to me on the Discord?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I think it's 2 Banzai, 2 Censures. Like if you want to have the space for what he has currently in the deck, it's probably the member you're running. It's what's really interesting, and I didn't notice earlier, is that he's running both the Whisper and the Niece.
Why wouldn't you?
Because I think there is also a matter of deck slots, and like if you've got the Whisper, you just run it instead of the Niece, unless you're on the Crane Splash with the Soul Beyond Reproach. I mean, it's a lot of fate that you're going to invest to have both, right? And the Whisper is a straight upgrade, unless you're running that very specific splash.
Okay, the fact that the Whisperer is a straight upgrade to...
I can't hear you anymore.
I'm sorry. I just said that the fact that the Whisperer is a straight upgrade to the Niece is something that no one can contend with. But I don't see why one wouldn't go 2-2 or 3-2 just to be able to filter out and have exactly the cards that they want to have in hand. And I will back up my point by saying this. A lot of, I won't say easy, but a lot of wins happened in Dublin because there was a strange meta of a lot of people bidding small bids like 1, 2, 3s, etc. Because the Scorpion players wouldn't be able to get to the point of seeing enough cards or seeing enough dynasty cards, dynasty characters that filter through to be able to get their tools. So having the Niece and the Whisperer allows the Scorpion player to be more successful in finding the correct tools for their matchup, because they have a lot of tools that are very specifically strong against particular matchups, like in the Mirror, Cloud the Mind, and Way of the Scorpion are completely or almost completely right.
Okay, I accept that argument. I'm probably a bit biased by the fact that I'm playing a slightly different deck and I just don't have space to run both of them. Like it's straight three Whispers for me, but no.
Okay, so do there is a number of Scorpion players who play the Courtier that when he dies draws 2 cards, right?
Yeah, Truth Seekers.
So instead of that, why wouldn't you play the Niece? Because as a Scorpion player, you don't really need to have more cards. You just need to have the correct cards at the right time.
I would make the argument that she's one fate more expensive. You can't use Miyako on her. And if Dishonored is potatoed, which when you're running the Forge Edict is something that can happen.
And all of these arguments are exactly correct. But on the other hand, she allows you to filter through.
Yeah, and your opponent doesn't draw. Yeah, I mean that's definitely true.
Exactly. So you get to find the answers for the particular matchup, and without having to give your opponent any kind of unequal foot.
It's just that I feel like having 3 Master Whispers, or maybe one Niece. Maybe that's what he has, but
yeah, maybe. I think those numbers are correct.
Yeah, I'm running 3 straight, but I'm also running the KB slightly more aggressive deck, so it's like I don't really want to have too many free cost flogging.
Yeah, yeah, that's completely fair.
Like my free costs are extremely expensive slots. I think I'm a bit biased against the Niece because she has a stat line that I really don't like with KB.
I mean, I get it. She becomes a 1/1 when readied with KB when you're 6 or less, right? That's it.
Yeah, exactly. When the Master Whisper, you stand it and it's actually still pretty good.
Yeah. No, I get it. For far too long, Lion have been cursed with too many characters that become potatoed when Dishonored.
Yeah.
Ichehat, I'm looking at you.
That one is impossible to understand. I just don't understand that stuff.
But you know what the answer to that is, right? Political favor. And that's it. You just get the political favor and you present one, and that's it. Anyway, that's not the point. The point is that I understand your problem with the Niece, and especially against a deck that could potentially make it harder for you with a lot of court games for shameful displays, stuff like that. That these are neutral cards that everybody could potentially supposedly play. Niece is significantly less strong than the Whisperer.
Yeah, as I said, I think the exception is like if you're running the Crane Splash, then she's still as awesome.
Yeah. I find it fascinating that the Scorpion still possess the capability of, while pushing your honor down, just make a switch and decide that I'm going to just conquest your box to get to the ground. I find this fascinating.
I think it's not intrinsically related to Scorpion, but right now they are the only one who can do it. I think it's more related. Well, maybe with marginally a bit Crab. I think it's more related to the way like the cards bid work. Like if you're getting closer to dying, then you can't get as many cards, which means you can't get as many answers, which means it's easier for your opponent to get the break to go to the stronghold. And I think the fact that the honor win has been put 5 points higher than the dishonor win is low makes them not happening the other way around. Like it doesn't happen with the honor win because you need to get fifth. Well, not anymore for everyone, but like you still need to climb much more honor point than you need to.
I would disagree, and I will tell you why. Give Medalia lion characters that are like the liar. So give Matsu Berserker sincerity,
Yeah, that's also a fact. It's true. Like,
and
Scorpion is drawing
and
much.
give the textbooks of the alibi artist to the I don't know to the tactician instead of
Yep.
the when he wins a military conflict draw a card. And let me build you an honor rocket that bids only one and he has 16 cards in hand by turn 3. Because I don't
Yeah,
need
that
to
would
play any
work as
cards.
well, probably. Yeah.
Yeah, the dynasty card of the Scorpion is just pushing their conflict deck and and their hand, and this is what's making them so strong. I think
Yeah, I think you're correct.
one of the reasons.
The thing, like, what makes me think you're correct is that the one other clan we see having a little bit in lesser measures, but having a little bit this property is Crab, and they also have pretty good drawing in the dynastic characters.
Sincerity and courtesy on a 1 feet character.
Yeah, that one.
And the other one fate for a body that gives me 2 fate.
Yeah, it sounds like
Because Dark Ritual is a card that made sense in Magic the Gathering, so let's print it in Level 5 as well. Okay, I hope you enjoyed me co-streaming with you and having a little bit of a laugh and a banter.
Yeah, it was a pleasure as usual.
Yeah, let me know when if you want to do this again. And best of luck to everyone playing on Jogoku and enjoying the game and having fun with each other. And remember to be respectful. Remember that as you are isolated at your home, trying to make sure that you and your loved ones won't die, so as everyone else. So be kind, be respectful, be appreciative to other players who might be your opponents for like 35 minutes, but effectively they your co-players without whom you wouldn't be able to play the game that you enjoy and love. So be good, be safe, be healthy, and play games. Get some reps.
Thank you.
See you later.
Have a very nice evening. See you around.
Yep.
Bye. Have a nice evening, everyone. Thank you very much for watching the game.